A very good morning and welcome to this edition of US 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I am Hashni Patirana. And before we take a look at your news in detail, let's take a look at your headlines first.
News First headline.
Silent period for 2024 general election begins. Over 20 foreign election observers to monitor 2024 general election. DMC to implement special program to tackle disasters during election. In international headlines, Saudi Crown Prince says Israel committing genocide in Gaza. And in your sports, it's cricket. Informed New Zealand pacer ruled out of Sri Lanka ODIs. And now on to your top story this morning. The silent period for the 2024 general election commenced at midnight yesterday following the conclusion of the campaigning period. Commissioner General of Elections Samanshri Ratnayaka said that the silent period will remain in effect until the 14th of November. He has urged all candidates to abide by the election laws and regulations during this silent period. The Commissioner General further iterated that all preparations for the 2024 general election are now complete. Registered voters who are unable to obtain their official polling cards may now obtain them online. The National Election Commission announced that registered voters can visit the e-services website of the National Election Commission and follow the instructions to download their polling cards. Meanwhile, Commissioner General of Elections Samanshri Ratnayaka confirmed that necessary security arrangements for the general election are already in place. He further highlighted that the transportation of ballot boxes to polling stations will begin tomorrow. According to the Election Commission, nearly 200,000 state sector employees have been deployed for election duties. A total of 8,361 candidates are contesting in the 2024 general election. From them, 5,015 are contesting from political parties, whereas 3,346 are independent candidates. In more local news, the National Election Commission of Sri Lanka says that over 20 foreign election observers will be taking part in monitoring the upcoming 2024 general election. Chairman of the Commission, RML Ratnayaka, says that the group includes election observers from South Asian nations as well. 10 foreign election observers will arrive in Sri Lanka upon the invitation of the National Election Commission, including observers from countries such as Russia and Thailand. The chairman further adds that they will meet members of the Commission and then commence their election observing duties. Meanwhile, Chairman of the National Election Commission says that a team of international observers of the Asian Network for Free Elections, or the ANFREL, met with officials from the Election Commission yesterday and commenced their election monitoring duties. In more local news, the Disaster Management Center or the DMC says that a special program is in place to address any emergencies that may arise during the election period. Director of DMC, Pradeep Kodipli, says that the Department of Meteorology, Department of Irrigation, National Building Research Organization, Tri-Forces as well as Sri Lanka Police will be joining forces for this course. He also says that a special center to manage any disaster situation will be operational from today onwards. Accordingly, the special center will be operational for 5 days from the 12th to the 16th of November.
International news.
And now taking a look at your international news for this morning, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has condemned Israel's actions in Gaza as genocide in some of the harshest public criticism of the country by a Saudi official since the start of the war. Speaking at a summit of Muslim and Arab leaders, the prince also criticized Israeli attacks on Lebanon and Iran. In a sign of improving ties between rivals Riyadh and Tehran, he warned Israel against launching attacks on Iranian soil. Saudi's de facto leader was joined by other leaders present in calling for a total Israeli withdrawal from the West Bank and Gaza. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's foreign minister said it was quote-unquote failing of the international community that the war in Gaza had not been stopped, accusing Israel of causing starvation in the territory. Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud said, quote-unquote, where the international community primarily has failed in ending the immediate conflict and putting an end to Israel's aggression. The war in Gaza was triggered by Hamas's 7th of October 2023 attack, which saw hundreds of gunmen enter southern Israel. Now, about 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage. Israel retaliated by launching a military campaign to destroy Hamas, during which more than 43,400 people have been killed in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run Health Ministry. A report by the UN's Human Rights Office found that close to 70% of verified victims over a 6-month period in Gaza were women and children. Leaders at the summit also condemned what they described as Israel's continuous attacks against UN staff and facilities in Gaza.
Sports news.
And now, finally, shifting your attention to the sports arena on a high after leveling the T20 series against Sri Lanka with a thrilling win on Sunday. New Zealand will be deprived of the services of key pacer Lockie Ferguson for the ODI leg of the tour. Now, Ferguson, who picked up a hat-trick in the second T20I between Sri Lanka to spur the Kiwis to a sensational win, had left the field due to some discomfort while bowling his second over in the game and would not be fit enough to take part in the upcoming ODIs. Adam Milner has been called into the squad as Ferguson's replacement. Ferguson will return home to New Zealand today for scans to determine the extent of the injury and the period of rehabilitation required. Now, the first match of the 3-match ODI series between Sri Lanka and New Zealand is scheduled to begin tomorrow at the Rangili Dabulla International Cricket Stadium. And with that, we wrap up this edition of ES 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashni Patirana. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more of the very latest.